Patrick, you have the unfavorable position of following Hal. You're not alone because you and Eric, where's Eric Craig, has done that for me before. Following Hal, there he is back there. Eric's like, God dang, following Hal. Don't make me follow Hal.
That is really tough to follow.
The more people had our mother too, though. Now,
yeah, true. Oh, yeah.
my mother's like, if you name a fruit, I picked it. Whoa.
yeah.
It's a true story too.
At our last conference in California, this guy's, 3,000, rental properties and flips over the last 10, 15 years. And he's like, I came up, I just picked fruit and I was a farm laborer in California. You name the fruit, I picked it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now you got to follow that too.
I've never milked a cow. I've never picked fruit. I've been in real estate for 8 years. I had a long career after being way more educated than I should have in corporate America. I came to the point where I was a little tired of the bureaucracy and doing things that I thought, this is really crazy. Because I was in the restaurant business, I was in the corporate marketing side of the restaurant business, and I just finally went in with it. How long would it take for you to hire my replacement? 90 days later, after working 70 hours a week, I had to figure out what I wanted to do next. I ended up starting a real estate business. Thought I was just going to be a solo agent selling 15 houses a year and being a nice house husband for my wife. Here I am 8 years later. We've got a staff of 4 admin. We've got 13 agents and growing. I just promoted co-team leaders to the team. Hired a first virtual outbound calling. Built an incredible SEO lead generation machine. And the biggest challenge I have today, would anybody like to move to Nashville? I'm looking.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you're in the process of opening a mortgage company, or you just opened a mortgage company as well too, alongside your production, like we talked about with Eric this morning as well too.
Yeah.
So you're hearing multiple pillars of income a lot, right? Multiple pillars of income from a lot of these guys, not just real estate sales. There's a lot of places you can go here. There's a lot of places you can go, right? So thank you. And a title company, correct. That's correct. Patrick, let's go back to you really quick with regards to your sales. I want to make sure that we cover this too. From your team structure, because what I hear from you the most is that you're a great leader of leaders. Because you coach with Brad, and we've had our conversations as well too. And all Brad ever says is this guy develops talent. Like you've got 2 co-team leaders, right? That help run your sales team.
Yep.
Correct?
Newly promoted,
right? And they earned it. They earned their way in.
Absolutely. The key thing is and actually sitting in Brad's session a little bit, and this is absolutely true. You got to know your people. You got to know how do you motivate them. You got to keep them focused on the right things, and then you have to know where they want to go next. And sometimes they don't know. Sometimes you have to nudge them in a way and say, well, have you thought about this? I think you'd be good at this. I have several people on my team who I thought were going to be really great agents, and then we had to find a different role. So it's you're a cultural fit, you're a hard worker, but you're not an agent. So how do we find a role for you on the team? The co-team leaders were producers as agents. They had a history of success in other places. They were sales managers in one case. The other one had sales success other places, and I made them co-team leaders. I had to hire 2 people to fire me and to grow the team.
So it takes a village to fire yourself.
So, honestly, I wasn't being effective in a lot of things I was doing, and it was hard to give up. I had to figure out how I could do it and get comfortable with it. And it's not been that long. It's still uncomfortable, but I can already start to see the systems kind of flow a little bit better. And
You hear that humility?
so I
like
can
it.
see it. I can see it. It's starting to work.
I love that. I love that. That's leadership right there. I mean, literally, I could can that entire statement. I can see it doing better without me. It's uncomfortable. I'm self-aware. It's hard. It'd take two to make me feel comfortable with it. But they're better than me, and I know it. If I could just stay out of it. Man, that is leadership. Have that and hang on to that. Because there will be times where you want to jump back in when things start to go wrong. And you got to be real careful if, how, and when you do that. Makes sense? That's the hard part. You can just go sabotage everything you've done real quick. I need to be in there. And I've been that guy a million times myself, constantly, to be perfectly honest with you. So that is just phenomenal. Leadership doesn't stop there, though. You've got an ISA team, right? You've got 2 ISAs, then 1 virtual ISA that outbound prospects.
Yes.
2 that have take inbound leads that you've generated through your search engine optimization, your SEO machine from your organic and Google AdWords presence, right?
Right. Yep. And those people were agents who were misfits.
Oh, okay.
That really were sort of, they were okay agents. They were good at nurturing leads, but they were just kind of tired of the grind of being an agent and showing houses, but they liked being on the phone. So honestly, we moved them over, mainly, because they were experienced and they were good nurturers, and it's been, Drake in particular, Anthony is the other one, both of them have been real rock stars at starting this ISA, and that's another uncomfortable process, right? Because you're giving up another percentage of your DCI in order to do that. But they've been terrific ads, and the best part of that process is now the team can see, because this isn't a light switch of going from ISAs and co-team leaders. It is still a process. It is it's getting everybody to see the vision of the future. And it is very much uncomfortable for everybody, but now people can see it. They're all like, oh, wow, I like this, where you're setting an appointment for me.
Right.
And now I'm not having nurtured. We're still in the process of transitioning that process to be more ISA focused. But what's cool is now the agents are fighting over the leads, fighting over the attention of the ISAs, which is honestly what I want.
Relatively fast growth too. A lot of this. You also have a director of operations, right?
I have a director of operations. Yeah, she has the unfortunate situation being married to my brother, but I am. But
Little brother or older?
Little brother.
Yeah, it's a little brother. Yeah.
And so she's a saint already, but she's way better than I can afford. The truth is, she's remote. I live in Nashville. I shouldn't tell you where she lives because you might want to try and recruit her. Because I know there's some people in Atlanta, and Alpharetta that may want to recruit her, but
You got a Facebook?
Yeah.
I have to change my family connections on the Facebook page.
And she also coaches with one of our coaches too, right?
She does. She,
Right.
when I joined the coaching program, I added her as a coach,
Right.
and honestly, that was hugely helpful because we were operating in our own little sphere, and we needed to both learn how other teams and the coaching that came along with it. But yeah, so Saida is her name, and she is coached by ICC. Yeah. So I shouldn't say that. That's a fake name.
Yeah.
That's a fake name.
Yeah. He spelled it backwards. Yeah. That's funny. But I love what he's saying here, because what the director of operations role, we do have admin and director of operations coaching as well too. But that is probably the hardest role to find and secure and manage and retain, in my opinion, in our industry, is the director of operations of a real estate team. It is very, very difficult to find. He's found one. He's smart enough to know I'm going to put the coach with this person so I don't lose this golden goose. Okay? Go ahead.
I struggled for many years myself. With doing everything myself. I was running the flipping. I was running the rentals, investments, And then I was still out here selling houses. I was selling 100 houses a year. All me, with maybe a TC. And then about a year ago, almost a year now, I hired a full-time person to sit in my office, and it's a game changer for me. Like, that brought me so much time. Thanks to Brian, the coaching, because Brian is the one pushing me to make that hire. He goes, bro, take the jump. You should have done it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I finally pulled the trigger on hiring her, and it's a game changer for me. It really, really helped and bought me a lot of the time that I was doing a lot of the tasks that I shouldn't be doing. Like you seem like to be doing really well, you hire it out. I struggle with that. So, and I'm aware of it and I'm working on it. So I started with a full-time assistant, and now I just hired a VA to do outbound calls. That's also, I did that. And then I'm in the process of looking for a marketing person to handle all my marketing. And I'm gonna follow you on Facebook so I can learn something.
Come on down.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is unique, that is in common with all three of you, and even Eric this morning and his team, and Claudia and her teams, is that you guys do have systems. You do meet with your people on a regular basis. You do have dashboards where we're looking at all those key metrics, right? Those activity-based indicators, those results-based indicators, and we're tracking. And that's what a system is, and that's what brings a team together, right? And that's one of the things you guys have all embraced in one way or another, right? So that we are formalized in some sense, right? And that, and I think and that's been kind of new to you, because what he's done, which is very unique, is, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's pretty darn unique actually, is, he's got his construction crew in there. He's got the leader, well, not his crew, but the leaders of his construction division. He's got property acquisition managers in there. He's got sales managers in there. He's got admin staff and operations in there. He's got sales agents in there. And, we're creating metrics for all these different things shown on one dashboard to hold ourselves all accountable to doing what we need to do to get the results we want. Patrick, you have the same thing. Just different people, different bus, different seats, right? Tell me about those.
Absolutely. The best part, and this is really the first extended time I've been away from Nashville, where I've had co-team leaders, director of operations, and it feels good to see things move forward. When something pops up, and we all know everything's popped up since y'all been here. A lot of things are being taken care of, which would have been my domain, and to see the teamwork, and that's the cultural aspect of doing all those things, and I think promoting from within, if you can find that person from within, because they already know each other. So it's been absolutely huge to kind of sit here and I wouldn't say I'm 100% not on my phone, because I certainly am, but it's a lot different dealing with issues. I mean, in terms of setting up those people, and then just cruising at a little bit higher altitude.
I think that's fabulous. Here's bonus coaching for everyone. You're on this trip, okay? All those times you have to take phone calls and deal with problems back home, all those times, I'm talking to my wife too, because I'm with her the most and I see it happen from time to time. Every time, those are the leaks in your plumbing that you need to fix so you can go on vacation next time, okay? So we talk about the need to let go. We talked about the need to let go, and we let go with leverage with people, leveraging work to people, leveraging responsibility to people, leveraging pay to people, all those things, and letting go to be less of a warrior and more of a chief. Right? Okay? So when you're here and you have to dive back into your business and get back on that phone and solve problems and put out fires, understand those are gaps that need to be filled. Because, the only way to find where your leaks are in the plumbing is to run water through it and see where it's leaking. Well, you're running water through it right now. Don't not take a vacation because you can't find the leaks. Take the vacation to find the leaks. Does that make sense? So it is actually productive seeing how it runs without, assuming you have somebody back home. It doesn't work if you don't. Don't do it if you're a solo agent yet. But a caveat, I think, you got other problems if you didn't get that one. But you get the idea, right? So that's it. Anytime you have to get back is how do I make it so I don't have to do those things, or what person is missing? You know, who do I need? Where do I need to go so that I don't have to put those fires out? Because you should be able to be here and have no fires to put out. You should. And there's no excuse for that. Because there is every responsibility in this business can be leveraged. Cloudy didn't have to take a call. Claudia didn't have to take a call. Remember that? Be a flyer. Be like Claudia. You know? So that's the idea. I love it. So we're always working on that stuff. We're always working on that stuff. Every one of you had to take calls. Those are your plumbing. Go ahead. Did you?
No, I mean, absolutely. Different kind of plumbing issues this time. Up in a different area. We'll fix that when we get back.
Well, guys, I want to make sure that I loved having you guys up here. It was wonderful sharing your stories with these guys, different types of businesses. The commonality between the three are systems, discipline, and I want you to see the discomfort, overcoming, leveraging, and letting go from all three of these guys, investing in other leaders to leverage their business all the way through. It's not easy. I mean, you could tell Patrick's saying it's still a process. This is challenging. Brock maybe wasn't showing it and Hal wasn't showing it, but I've seen it behind the scenes with both of them. It is a process. It is not easy, but they're doing it and they're seeing the difference on it. And quite frankly, never stop until the phone calls stop. Never stop until there's no leaks in the plumbing. You keep getting uncomfortable and letting go and filling those gaps until the phone calls stop. Then all you do is you take the leaders that you've replaced yourself and you help them fill their gaps. And you just keep helping people fill gaps until you got people to help fill other people's gaps. Make sense? If you want to see how these guys get big, that's how they get big. Leadership. These three guys have it. Give them a round of applause.